Hello and welcome to Ibby's Digital Nomad Stories, featuring real conversations with professionals who've cracked the code to sustainable nomadic lifestyles. These people aren't beach and Wi Fi chasers, they're building competitive advantages that traditional employment could never match. Global mobility, income diversification, and the freedom to capitalize on opportunities anywhere. I'm Ibi Malik, your favorite digital nomad consultant, and today I'm joined on the show by Katia Dimova, someone who proved that the best strategy is no strategy. She doesn't plan, she responds. She started with some small volunteer work and ended up coordinating refugee relief across 3 countries. Most people would call that chaos. Katia calls it Thursday. See, she's comfortable in being uncomfortable. She hitchhiked alone across India and didn't realize it was remarkable until she saw the look on other people's faces when she told them. And if you ask her, "What do you do?" she would need half an hour to explain. Even though most of us know her for running Chateau co living in Normandy, one of Europe's most sought after co living spaces, literally a co living in a castle. This is a masterclass in showing up and letting the world reshape itself around you. When you stop planning and start reacting, you become the catalyst for everything that matters. Here's Katia. Katia, Katia, it's us. We're together in the castle again. And you know what? I feel like I know so much about you, but also so little about you at the same time. And I've heard so many stories and so many rumors about you.
So many rumors about me.
So many rumors.
Who is spreading rumors about me?
But they're actually good rumors now, because then there's like the whole digital nomad story, and then like you worked in operations story, and then the whole like you did this volunteering and you did this social work story, and then you opened a co-living story, and I don't even know how many stories, and I don't know where to start. But I think the easiest thing is just chronological, like when in, I don't know, must have been what, 2007 or something now. When did you start your digital nomad journey, and how and why?
It was a bit, so it's hard to put an actual year on it because it started very gradually and it was not at all planned to be like, I was not like, oh, I want to be a digital nomad, I want to start traveling. It kind of happened a little bit naturally, and because it was not a thing at the time.
Okay.
You
This is pre-COVID, right? This is like
Yeah, way pre-COVID.
way. Okay, how way pre-COVID?
I'm old, don't ask how way. A long time
Okay,
ago.
a long time ago. Okay, nice.
Long time ago. So I was traveling already a lot for work when I was having my corporate job, and also like long travels, like for a couple of months somewhere here and there. So that was already like, it was not nomading, but it was already like this moving around for a few months in different places that you don't know, in a much more comfortable way, of course, with the company apartment and driver and all of those things that you don't have to
Those
take
things.
care of, that you appreciate later. The hard way.
Yeah, if only I had a driver now to take me around. They could drop me off at the restaurant.
Not to take me around, but like when you travel for work, someone is waiting for you at the airport and they take you to your place. And then it
Different
changed
world.
drastically.
But then also, maybe you thought to yourself, okay, I mean, it's not that hard to organize all these travels. I can do it myself. I don't need them to organize it for me. Or
Not hard to organize at all. It was just not. It was just not at all at the time in my mindset that this is something. Nobody was doing that. I didn't even know what it was. It was just like, it gave me like a kind of flavor of not being in one place, which was great. And then once you have to go back and be in one place with the same like corporate boring whatever job, it was never like too boring, but still like being in one place with the same people all the time, you start to have like this
Itchy
itch a
feet.
little bit.
I know. Okay, so I mean, location independence, right? I think that's the key word that a lot of our listeners, a lot of the digital nomad community are chasing, right? Being free to do that. So are we saying that like even in the corporate role that you had, you did feel that location independence and you wanted to recreate it?
A little bit, yeah, because, I was always one of those people that are like, why do I have to be at 9 o'clock in the office? Why I can't work at home with my coffee until 11 and then go to the office because I'm not a morning person. I don't want to commute. I don't want to, all these old school ways were so not working for me. And also, when you travel, when you have a lot of business trips, you kind of have this freedom because nobody is expecting from you to be at the office. So it was kind of claimed illegally in a way. And then most people, what they do is they get like later they get familiar with this location independent life, and they're like, oh, I want to quit my corporate job and to start something of my own so that I can have this freedom. In my case, it didn't happen this way. I decided to quit my corporate job for other reasons and to start my own company. And then the mindset behind was that the company will be based in Istanbul and all of that. But in the beginning, like the first months before, like when we were just like me and my partner and one more person, we were working remotely because we didn't need at the time to spend for an office and to go through all the admin stuff and difficulties to start in a non-European country. So we're like, yeah, until it's time to have an office and to hire more people, why don't we just like do whatever and just live wherever? And then the question was, because a lot of the clients were in Istanbul, but also for visa reasons and all of that, you can't be there all the time. So basically, I just opened them up and I'm like, oh, where is a cool place that is close to Istanbul, but is still Europe and it has seaside and nice weather? Oh, it's Greece. Let's go to Greece for a bit.
Okay.
And this is how it happened. So basically, I was driving every week to Istanbul almost. And the plan was not at all to be a nomad. The plan was not at all to be location independent. And because it was not a thing at the time, like not that I didn't want, it just never crossed my mind that
You're a pioneer. You're one of the
possible.
first.
So what happened was that I was always with this scarcity mindset that soon we will have an office and we'll be based in one place. So let's now travel as much as possible while we still can. So then that was happening, working remotely, traveling, took all the flights possible to like that are connected to the nearest airports, drove around a lot, and then slowly you start to question yourself, why do we need an office? Like why we can't just do this and just live wherever and work with people that we, because also we were a company with like people that are very senior, very small team, but very senior team, and people that I've worked with before that I knew. So you don't have anyone new to train or any like heavy processes or something like that. There's just a bunch of people that know what they are doing. We know how we work together. So then one of the girls that was working with me, she bought a house in a village and moved to a village because she's like, oh, we're working this way. Why should I live in the city? It's expensive. I don't want to live in the city. I want to be in nature, to have my garden. So she moved, and then the rest of us, like, we kept traveling. And then at some point, it just didn't make sense anymore to think about the traditional company and the traditional ways.
Yeah.
The thing that was extremely schizophrenic, though, was that we were working for very big corporate clients. And at the time, it would be extremely not serious if you don't have an office.
Yeah, if you don't have a presence.
So you kind of, the clients would never come to meet you. We would always go to meet them. So it just didn't make sense. But anyway, we were kind of keeping it, not lying, but not saying that we have an office, like avoiding the where are you based? Oh, we are based in
we're based everywhere.
Which is true, yeah.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah, that was fun, yeah.
I love this. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that a lot of the people that are typically the nomad type, right? They're solopreneurs. They're people who are by themselves, who are working for themselves. Either they're earlier in their stage or they're professionals who are fully qualified in their profession. Obviously, they're accountants, they're lawyers, whatever they want to be. But they are just themselves earning enough money to live a digital nomad life.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're slightly different. You have a team around you right now. You're talking now about a pre-COVID time where you were already running a remote team. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of being. It's not so much selling just your skills for money. Rather, it's having a company. It's having employees. How do you manage teams in such a remote space? If you were to go back, what do you think that you did wrong or could have done better back then? Or alternatively, what did you think worked really well that let you take off that way?
Good question. I think already back then, like managing a team, yeah, kind of, but also like a very small team. It's not like the companies that are remote first and that have big teams to manage and need a lot of SOPs and a lot of like rules and stuff like that. In my case, it was much easier. First of all, I mean, easier and not so much. Yeah. First of all, because the team were people that I used to work for years before with. So we knew each other very well. We were very much on a friendly basis. I knew how they work. I could trust them totally. Same for them. We didn't need to have like any operations in place. Like everybody knew. Also, it was like each person was responsible for something. So they were not two people kind of doing the same thing or like working on the same project, but everyone knowing very clearly what is their role. So absolute separation of tasks. So everybody knew what is the role in a project and how the role connects to the others, like how if you don't do your part, the next person cannot do their part and the next person cannot do their part. And I think knowing each other, it just made it very easy. And the fact that all of them were senior, like nobody was learning on the job. That was, you just,
so
things were just going. But then the challenges were that at the time, there were no tools for remote work whatsoever. Like we didn't have Zoom, we didn't have, like we were even chatting on Messenger, like we were talking work stuff on Messenger, to be honest.
The olden days where everything, yeah. I fully understand.
It was
the old days.
Totally, no proper record of our discussions, no, like it just worked as like magic because we knew each other and we could trust each other. But if you need like a proper documentation of who said what and who did what and how, like if something goes wrong and you need to go back on it, that wouldn't have been possible. So yeah, that could have been a big problem if it happened. The lack of tools, I think also the lack of reliable internet, like the amount of times when I had to submit massive files to a client on the day of the deadline and I'm somewhere in Lebanon and there's an electricity cut and there is no internet and I have to go and
Lebanon,
like look for, I don't know, like super stressed.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the backup, like you don't have the backup server also with like also with the team, like we were such a small scale and such like almost like friends working together. So we didn't have the proper servers, we didn't have the proper space. I don't remember if there was Google Drive. Probably there was, it was not that long ago. I don't remember what we were using as storage, but I remember that they had to transfer to me like massive files and it was like super slow and it was so stressful sometimes. So yeah, in that sense, like looking back at it now, in that sense, it was super unprofessional. The way it was executed, it always worked really well with the clients and the final result, like they didn't know what is behind the scenes, but we were absolutely unequipped with any proper tools to work remotely.
So I'm hearing a few things. I'm hearing a few topics come through. I'm hearing the benefit of hiring people who are experienced and who know what they're doing in the remote world. I'm hearing the benefits of having the right tool sets and the right infrastructure around you.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm hearing, which I've heard from you before in a different context, is not letting the client see the pain behind. I feel like this is one of your core philosophies. And I'm wondering if you could talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, in a way, what do you want me to say exactly about it?
Look, in the co-living space,
Yeah.
in the co-living world that you're in right now, we've often heard about not letting the client see how much effort has gone behind the scenes into making something happen. You're talking, so that's now, present day. We're talking about the past, however many years ago, pre-COVID that is, and we're talking about the same thing, not letting clients know. And even if you take that example for digital nomads, they think it's easy to just like rock up and do your own thing, but they don't realize how much work goes behind the scenes.
It's true, there is a lot going on behind the scenes in every context. I think it's part of the, no matter in which context, the client pays for the final result, be it the co-living experience, be it whatever other services you are providing, unless if the client is paying you to know, when you are consulting them, to know what it really takes and to know what it actually entails. If they want a specific deliverable, you do our, I don't know, branding, marketing, whatever, design, packaging, you have to deliver. They don't need to know what is happening behind. And that was part of the, like, they didn't know that we are such a small team. They didn't know that we are distributed and working remotely. But they were receiving a good result. And something that I was, because I came from a big design agency before, big international one, and I was a commercial director there. And when I left and started my own agency, I never lied that we are a small team. Like, I never said to anyone that we are a big team, but people kind of assumed that if someone on my level is starting something, it will be comparable to the company that I worked for before. I never said that.
You never said that.
And the truth is that a lot of people don't know that when you work in this context, let's say service agencies, like when you work with a big international agency, it's never the senior people that work on your project. It's always the juniors, it's always the interns that do the hard work behind. And then the senior person is just like yes or no and approving. They don't actually work on your strategy. And this is what a lot of clients don't know. And we were working for big, massive international clients. And what they were getting as a benefit was that they have a team of 4 or 5 people, but they're all senior and they all work on their strategy. They all work on their project. And it's also super fast and flexible because we don't have all the levels of approval, all the levels of decision making that you would have in a big company. So this was something that was giving us a lot of leverage. We were super fast and reactive.
Agile teams.
Absolutely. And yeah, that it's not a question of like lying and pretending that you are big. It's a question of like what you deliver, and they don't need to know that we came up with their strategy while we are laying on the beach in Greece. Like, what they need to know is that this is the best strategy and we are giving it to them. So
It's incredible. No, honestly, it's incredible. Because, I mean, you're right. In a typical consulting world, for example, that's my background anyway. In a typical consulting world, the client doesn't need to know how much has gone on behind the scenes, but they need to know that even though they are reading a 2-page executive summary, that's all they're going to read realistically. It took months of effort to get to that 2-page executive summary, right? And I fully acknowledge this about the teamwork as well. Like, even And one of the businesses I launched, I had a fake AI agent, and this was back in 2000 and I don't know 21 or something. And at first, actually, before it was an AI agent, I'm pretty sure it was my 15-year-old cousin who was our customer service representative. But
I didn't know that about you. No, you keep surprising me.
But I think as long as the client is getting the services that they have paid for, right, and that you find a way to make the client comfortable, no matter how the team comes together, no matter what they do, no matter what tools or whatever they've used to get there, the fact is the work has been done and they're comfortable with it, and that I think is something special. Okay, awesome. Let's change tack a little bit, right? So we've got this whole space of we've got this pre-co-living space where you had corporate work that you were doing, and I've heard you also had non-profit work that you were doing. Is there some kind of curve that you went through, some arc that you went through, where first you were like, okay, at this stage in my life, in my career, I'm more about the money. At this stage, I'm more about helping people. Why did it change like that?
No, it just came. I don't plan anything. Like things come at me and I take things as they come.
Awesome.
No, it was more like the social work came more from it was just the situation at the moment. It was like the peak of the war in Syria, a lot of refugees coming in, very, very unprepared institutions and governments and all of that in the Balkans. And it just started with a very small, very like small human effort to do something. And I was not at all planning to do it in a larger scale. But then the thing is that once you get involved, once you're like, oh, I can do something small to help, I will maybe donate my, I don't know, I don't remember what, but then you get involved and then you understand the scale of it, and then you are like, oh no, this is big. Oh, I have some contacts, maybe I can help. Oh, I can maybe organize this. Like it started so small, just as something on the side, and then it totally consumed me to a point that I stopped working because I just couldn't work anymore. Like I couldn't focus on anything else anymore. It was not healthy. I'm not giving it as a good example. But the thing is that when you just get sucked in because you see how much need there is and you see how little has been done and you see how much is on the line and how many human lives are on the line. And then every day you think, okay, maybe I can do this little bit more. Maybe I can do this little bit more. Maybe I can this and that. Like I start having ideas, and then before you know it, you are full blown in the middle of the organization of everything. You are the contact point of a lot of people. You are suddenly like the centerpiece of a massive project, which was not planned, which just happened like that. And then, escalated, went also to other countries and stuff like that. So it was not official. I didn't even have, so we were like a group of people that met randomly on some sort of like coordination meeting, I don't know what, where I was not supposed to go to this meeting. I just went to the point to drop off some donations. And my idea was like, oh, I'll just drop off the donations and go. But then they asked me, oh, there is this meeting, do you want to join? I was like, yeah, sure. What is it about? Oh, there's just people thinking about how we can help. Like, yeah, sure. And then I met some people there, which to this day are some of my best friends. And then we just clicked very quickly. We started bouncing ideas. We started, okay, we can do this, we can do that. Like a lot of us with very different backgrounds as well. And we just like took it as this common project, and it escalated to a point we didn't have any official, we didn't have an NGO, we didn't have any official entity behind us. We were just like a group of newly met friends. and suddenly it went big. It started also with we started at the time, it was a Facebook group, first for us and then for some other close friends of ours that could possibly help and get involved. And then suddenly the group was thousands of people. It just escalated without plan.
Do you feel like the skills that you gained from running your nomad business and in your corporate world, they were the ones that helped you transition into this and made you?
Yeah, for sure, because there was a lot of also logistical coordination from distance with different organizations, with different camps and points. It was mainly in Greece, Turkey, and Bulgaria. So for sure that helped. A lot of people actually of the volunteers were nomads. And even when I went to Lesbos at the time on the front lines, a lot of people were just like nomads who were at the time traveling to Lesbos. And then the whole thing happened, and then they saw it firsthand, and they decided to stay because they're nomads and they're flexible and they don't have plans. And they just decided to stay and help. So it kind of also bridged the two worlds a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I guess also for me on the emotional side, this was something missing because I was always feeling like I live a schizophrenic life, like my corporate life with the big clients and projects and stuff like that. They don't know that I'm a nomad. And the nomad people were usually, as you said, like people with much like smaller scale freelancers trying to make it out there, trying to get started. So I kind of always felt like the two worlds have nothing in common and they are two completely separate compartments. And then the volunteer work for the first time kind of bridged, and for the first time also showed me how important it is to have a community and to have people that understand you and understand what you are doing. And that was really nice and helpful. Yeah.
Okay, I love this. I want to get your opinion on something, because one of the key things that I recommend to all of my clients is that being a nomad is about the shift in mindset of thinking globally, that you can have opportunities anywhere in the world, that you can think in a different way that gives you different perspectives because you've seen different ways of living, different ways of being, you've seen different ways. The operating procedures in Eastern Europe is so different from Western Europe. Forget the other side of the world, right? Yeah. So how do you think the skills that people gain as nomads, just in the act of becoming a nomad or being a nomad, how does that help them later on in their life? I want people to know that it's not just...
It's amazing. It's such a shift. It's so... I mean, it teaches you to be so flexible and so agile, like you can adapt to any situation at some point. Like, especially we've been talking about that with friends a lot, like when you are a nomad, there are so many good things, but also there are a lot of difficulties. And on the moment, the good thing is that on the moment, the challenges and the difficulties, they don't look like something too bad or too crazy, because even with the challenges, your life is still better than the life of most people. Mm-hmm. But then when you look back, you're like, oh my God, I did this? Like what? And then you're like, oh, okay.
Can you give us an example? I know this from myself, but give me an example of what it comes to for you.
I don't know. Sometimes we sit with people and we talk about random things, and like random stories come up. And, you know, when you are with other nomads, you're like, oh yeah, and then I went alone to India and I hitchhiked to I don't know where. And they're like, yeah, like it's totally normal when people tell the stories. But then when you say that in the context with people that don't do that, and they're like, what did you do?
You went alone and hitchhiked in India?
And you're like, oh, is that not normal? Okay. Like in my circles, it's normal and a lot of people did it. And it kind of like brings the level so like you wouldn't think that it's something uncommon, but actually it is for most people. It's like super stressful, and a lot of situations like that where you did things that on the moment you didn't realize are totally crazy, and then when you start telling the stories, you see the reaction of people and they're like, what the hell happened? And it teaches you actually that you can find yourself in any situation and find a way out of it. It gives you a lot of confidence as well, and you are less scared after. You are less scared of starting businesses, of failing, of doing things. There is this famous joke on Instagram that on the Nomad interview for a corporate job, and the corporate person is like, oh, but this is a very stressful job. Do you think you can handle it? And the guy's like, girl, I crossed streets in India. I can handle 2 emails. Like, that's fine. Kind of, I think it gives you so many skills to, most of it is to not be afraid and to kind of have the confidence that whatever happens, you will find a way. Because we don't always think about that in a work situation, when you are in front of your computer and something happens at work and you panic and like, oh my God, how I'm gonna solve that. When you are physically somewhere and something happens, you don't have the choice one way or another. You have to get out of it. You have to one way or another find a solution. So
There's no way out.
there is no way out.
Oh, damn. I love it. I love it. I mean, look, you're right. It gives you the savoir faire that you can say to do anything, right? To go anywhere. Once you've handled things like, in other countries where you don't speak the language, where you just have to find a way to push yourself through it. In other contexts, it's invaluable. I want to draw the connection between your corporate world and the social work that you did. The reason is because I think a lot of people will be listening to podcasts, they'll be listening to digital nomad things, and they'll be like, oh, these guys, they're all capitalists, they don't care about anything, and they're just, ruining the world with their jet setting, and they're focusing so much on, I don't know, being in tech, and don't they know the environmental impact that they have? They feel like one excludes the other. What would you say to these kinds of people?
I would say that there are many different ways to care, and it's very easy to see the travel, right? The carbon footprint if you fly, but all the things that you can do that people can also do at home but don't do. It's different, and it's not okay to focus only on one aspect, because I think, first of all, the carbon footprint can also be done mindfully, and a lot of nomads are now not flying or only flying very long distances once or twice a year, and once they go to one place, they travel around as much as possible before they take the next big flight. So a lot of people are mindful about that, but also there are so many other ways that you can contribute and offset this, rather than, people who have sedentary life. They also go to vacations, but they don't do the rest, like a lot of them. And I would say it's just a different lifestyle, but
Okay, I have a follow-up.
the way you live it, you can still make your choices. You can still make it sustainable in a way.
How do nomads benefit the places that they go to?
I can't talk about all nomads, but they can, a lot of them do, and a lot of them can benefit the places that they go to. A lot of nomads are doing actually volunteer work. Volunteer work can also be done online, by the way, and you can help and you can do things. And I'm doing that at the moment because I cannot do physically anymore, not for social work, but for other things. And the difference between nomads and tourists is that you stay in the place longer. you understand the place better. You can do volunteer work if you want, but you can also contribute in other ways. You can support small businesses. You bring money from outside the country. You spend your money there. You can choose not to go to Starbucks, but to go to the little coffee shop of the local person that opened a little coffee shop in the little town. You can just make more mindful choices. And at least in the co-living cases, I think the contact also with the locals and the fact that you show people that don't have access to this world, you bring something from outside and you also enrich them culturally and you become friends with them. Very often in small towns and villages, it's people that have never met foreigners in their life. So just the fact that they can interact with you and exchange stories and hear about your travels and just kind of see that the world is bigger, it inspires them also to do things in a different way and to live their life in a different way. It's sometimes very difficult to explain to, I don't know, to someone that doesn't have either the example or the education or the opportunity to be worried about, I don't know, climate change or things like that. But then when they see the example, when they see that, oh, someone that was born on the other side of the world is coming to my village, they like my village and they take care of my village and they recycle and they want to clean the marshes and they want to do things this way. Like if they care about my village, then I should care also a bit more about my village and also about the world. So those are little shifts, but they, for sure, they make a difference. And I see it here as well.
What's your current job? What do you currently do?
My most dreaded question.
Same.
Every time I travel, when you meet people that are outside of these remote work circles, the first thing they ask is, where are you from? Which I know where I'm from, but I left my country so long ago that it's so hard to like put yourself in the box. Second question is, where do you live? I don't know. Third question is, what is your job? Oh my God. Like,
don't worry, we'll understand. We're all
all
digital
those things
nomads
that
on
are
here.
so hard to explain. And then you almost come across as rude because it's not that I don't want to answer. It's just that it's not a one-word answer. It will take me half an hour. Are you sure you want to listen to that?
If you could say it to the nomads as bluntly as you can.
Nomads, I run Chateau co-living in France, which you probably know because it's famous. And
this is the answer I wanted.
And I also consult people who want to start their journey in the co-living industry.
And do you like your job?
Yes.
What about it do you like?
So many things, but if I have to pick one, it's probably the interaction of a lot of very, very fascinating people. Like you, Ibi.
Katja, we actually, if only I had all of the time in the world to interview you, but I want to keep them under 30 minutes. So I feel like I'm going to have to wrap this one up now. But it was an absolute pleasure. I just want to let you know, I'm going to do a little spiel about Chateau co-living so that the audience will get a chance to listen to it because they need to know about this place. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm a bit in love with it too.
Oh.
I think you know that by now. But it was a pleasure. Thank you so much,
Thank
Katja.
you, Ibi. Thank you so much.